In this video, we'll talk about the basic of Python commands. We'll talk about how do we create comments in Python commands and how do we execute the commands. So let's take a look at the very first line, which is now the line number 9. So in case you want to create an object which is A with the value of 70, and you want to write something on top of it, you want to write some comments on top of it. For example, I would be writing the comments for you guys, for the trainees, so that they can understand what we are doing in this code. So I want to write a comment which is creation of an object, so that you guys can find it easy to understand. But once I write this command and I hit run, it would give me an error. It would give me a syntax error because system would not be able to understand this. Since this is a command, this is a comment that I have written, this is not a system command or this is not a system syntax, I would write hash in front of it. Whenever you write in Python hash and the text followed by hash is being interpreted as comment. If I go ahead and run it, you can see that I do not get any error in this case. Now in the next line, if I want to execute this A, we have discussed it earlier, we can simply run it. And this line gets executed, I get the value for A is 70. 70 is the value which is assigned to A. Now this 70 is called an element. So A is an object. A in this particular command is an object. And 70 is an element inside it. So 70 is one element inside it. As we have seen earlier, we are creating an object with one element. So this is an object A with only one element, and we will learn in the subsequent videos how do we create object with more than one element. But for now you can understand that these are the terms which is used, which is object and element. Element is also called value, but in programming terms, in Python programming terms, we will be calling this as an element. And A is called object. An object can be called as a variable or an identifier. So these are the synonyms which are used. We can either call it object, variable or identifier. So from the training perspective, we'll be calling it majorly an object to keep it consistent. Now let's talk about how do we create comments in a multiple lines. So for example, we talked about earlier that in case you want to comment one particular line, you put a hash in front of it. In case you want to comment multiple lines, so in case you are commenting multiple lines, either you can put hash in front of all of it as selected on the screen, or you can just put 3 quotes in the beginning and 3 quotes in the end. And whatever is there between the 3 quotes, it is being interpreted as a comment. So if I run this, you can see creation of an object. This is the first line. The second line is understanding of Python. It says understanding of Python. And in between you see /n. /n is a way of denoting the next line in programming, because understanding Python is going into the next line. So it says /n. Now you can also, instead of putting 3 quotes separately, you can also put 3 quotes at one go. You can just select the entire code with Control A and hit 3 quotes together, and it would put 3 quotes in the beginning and the end automatically. So it eases out your typing on the programming codes. Now let's talk about we can write multiple lines inside the same block. So we discussed earlier that these are blocks, and within each block you can write multiple lines. So here in this example, you can see that we have written multiple lines in the same block. We have written as b is equal to 90 and b. So what we are doing here is, in this particular command, when we are writing b is equal to 90, we are creating an object with the name of b and the value is assigned as 90. And in the next line, we are calling this particular object. So once I run this command, I can either run it with Control plus Enter key together. So you can either run it with this run button, or you can hit Control plus Enter key together. I have commented this out. It is the same thing. Either you can run it with Control plus Enter, or you can run it with this run button. So I'll be sharing these codes with you. These codes would be enclosed with the videos in the lectures. So after a few lectures, you would find certain codes enclosed, which should be consolidated codes. So you will see that there are multiple videos, and after that you will find a particular code file. So you will not find this code file next to this videos. You might have to navigate to the subsequent videos and find out this particular code file, which includes the description that we had on this particular video and other videos as well. Which means that you would periodically, after 3 or 4 videos, you will find the file, the Python file, which will be enclosed.